Larry Keene, Vice President, General Counsel of the National Shooting Sports Foundation, join us this afternoon. How you doing, Larry?
Very good, Cam. How are you?
I'm good. You're all stocked up in case
I have laid-in provisions for the blizzard of Nemo, which is the third storm of the century this month. So.
Yeah, no kidding. It was so much better when we got to name the storms ourselves. Snowmageddon, Snowpocalypse, Nemo,
right.
Whatever.
I remember when they didn't have names. They were just blizzards.
Exactly. The blizzard of 13.
They had a year associated with it.
Exactly. We should get back to those days. Anyway, we digress. The Denver Post has an editorial that you're commenting on. And it is an odd proposal from the state Senate. They want to pass, among many gun control laws, a provision that would hold manufacturers strictly liable for accidents or crimes committed with some firearms. Right?
Yeah, well, I'm going to date myself, but for some folks in your audience will remember Mr. Peabody, Sherman, and the Wayback Machine.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about a lot of what's going on lately is a regurgitation of arguments and claims that have been made by anti-Second Amendment forces going back 10 years ago or even further. So now we're going to go back to trying to blame law-abiding manufacturers for lawfully selling a legal, non-defective product and blame them for the harm caused when those products are criminally misused. I'm pretty sure we dealt with this about 10 years ago, and Congress passed the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act in 2005 by a stunningly overwhelming bipartisan majorities in both the Senate and the House, and was signed into law by President Bush that said precisely that you cannot sue manufacturers for selling a legal, non-defective product and blame them for the criminal misuse of that firearms. And the law preempts all state tort law claims. And so for the leader of the legislature in Denver, or the Denver Post editorial page, to call for passing legislation at the state level that is clearly and admittedly by them, they acknowledge this. They know it is preempted by the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, is a uniquely silly effort. And one would think that the legislature in Denver, in Colorado, would have better things to do with its time than try to pass blatantly unconstitutional legislation.
Yeah, it is. It is very odd, Larry. But again, I think it shows where the gun control advocates are coming from here. I mean, there really seems to be a kitchen sink approach. Just throw everything at the wall, see what sticks, and let's get as much as we think we possibly can.
Exactly. It's throw everything in the kitchen sink against the wall, see what will stick, none of which has anything to do to addressing what occurred in Sandy Hook, which is really a matter of unauthorized access. And honestly, the gun control community has run out of ideas. It sort of reminds me of Hollywood. All the movies they make are just remakes of movies that we saw when we were kids. They've run out of ideas. They're just recycling stuff over and over again. So I really feel like Sherman and Mr. Peabody in the Wayback Machine.
Yeah.
And for all the youngsters out there, go look it up. It's a dated reference, I admit, but it's really pretty apt.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Larry, be safe this weekend. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program this afternoon.
It's always a pleasure to spend time with you, and you're more than happy to come over. We're going to have a shovel party later today.
Oh, fantastic. I think I'll be heading the other way, but thank you very much for the invite. Larry Keene, Vice President and General Counsel from the National Shooting Sports Foundation, with us here on Cam & Company.